I want to tell you about a war that started less than 21 years after the last one ended. 21 years. That's how long the world had before it happened again. A lot of historians trace it straight back to how the First War was settled. The Treaty of Versailles left Germany carrying heavy reparations, stripped of territory, and the economy spiraled into hyperinflation through the 1920s. The kind where people pushed wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. Then in 1929, the Great Depression hit, and it hit everyone. But Germany was already unsteady. And that combination, the humiliation and the economic collapse, gave Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party the opening they needed. By 1933, they were running the country. What's strange looking back is how gradual it all felt at the time. Germany rearmed in direct violation of the treaty, and nobody stopped them. They remilitarized the Rhineland in 1936. They annexed Austria in 1938. Britain and France kept choosing to look away, a policy historians now call appeasement, hoping that if they let enough slide, war could still be avoided. That hope reached its peak at the Munich Agreement, where Germany was allowed to take part of Czechoslovakia in exchange for a promise. Just a promise. No further expansion, they said. It didn't hold. Germany invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939. Britain and France declared war 2 days after that. And that's the date most people learn as the start of it all. But fighting in Asia had already been going on for 2 years by then. Japan had invaded China back in 1937, which is part of why some historians don't really see this as two separate wars at all. Just one long unraveling that started earlier than the textbooks usually say. The war split into two theaters, and they unfolded almost like separate stories happening at the same time. In Europe, Germany moved fast. Tanks, air power, and infantry all coordinated in a way nobody had really seen before, and country after country fell. Poland, then Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, France, all within about 10 months. France in particular fell in 6 weeks, which shocked military planners on every side, allies and enemies both. Britain stood along through most of 1940 and into 1941. They survived the Battle of Britain, an air campaign fought mostly through radar and a kind of stubbornness that's hard to fully capture now. And then Germany made the decision that would define everything that came after. In June of 1941, they invaded the Soviet Union, tearing up a non-aggression pact they had signed less than 2 years earlier. That front alone would go on to claim more lives than any other theater of the entire war. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, Japan had spent years expanding across China and Southeast Asia, chasing resources like oil and rubber it didn't have at home. On December 7, 1941, Japanese forces attacked the American naval base at Pearl Harbor, and the United States entered the war the following day. Germany and Italy, allied with Japan, declared war on America shortly after. And just like that, it wasn't a regional conflict anymore. It was everywhere. 1942 and 1943 turned out to be the hinge the whole war swung on. In the Pacific, the Battle of Midway in June of 1942 crippled Japan's carrier fleet, and the momentum started shifting towards the Allied from that point forward. On the Eastern Front, the Battle of Stalingrad stretched from the middle of 1942 into early 1943, and it ended in a German surrender. Roughly 2 million casualties across both sides for that one battle. Historians widely mark it as the moment the war turned. I want to slow down here because this part deserves it. Behind the front lines, away from the battles, the Nazi regime carried out the Holocaust, the systematic murder of 6 million Jewish people, along with Roma people, disabled people, political prisoners, and others the regime had decided didn't deserve to live. It happened through a network of concentration and extermination camps spread across occupied Europe. It remains one of the most documented atrocities in human history. And even now, 80 years later, the scale of it is still hard to sit with fully. By 1944, the Allies finally had the position and the resources to push back everywhere at once. On June 6th, the D-Day landings opened a new front on Normandy. Roughly 156,000 troops landing on a single morning. Combined with the Soviet Union pressing in from the east, Germany was being squeezed from both directions with nowhere left to go. Berlin fell in May of 1945. Germany surrendered on May 8th. But the war wasn't over. The Pacific dragged on for 3 more months. Japan kept fighting even though the outcome was, by most measures, already decided, until the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in early August of 1945. Somewhere between 70 and 85 million people died worldwide, military and civilian combined, which makes it the deadliest conflict ever recorded. It reshaped borders across 2 continents, ended European colonial power within a single generation, and led directly to the founding of the United Nations, built quite literally to try to keep something like this from happening again. Whether it's working is a different question, but that's where it started.